Good morning. Welcome back to the garden, my beautiful ducklings. This is Susie, and in today's episode of My Secret Garden of Eden, I want to talk about how I manifest and why I manifest the way I do. It was a question that was asked in my group, so I'm going to answer it in a video. At the same time, I'm going to explain why I look up to a certain person. I don't say model every aspect of somebody in your life, but if you are learning to manifest and there was one person that you had to study today to learn how to manifest, watch President Donald Trump. Nothing affects that man. He literally, totally, 100% lives in his own world and creates his reality. He ignores the things he doesn't want to give life to, and he shoots off emails or letters and posts these things publicly for the whole world to see. Trump taught me to stop talking about the things I don't want. So I don't really talk about the struggle, the things that have gone on in my life. I was an abused child who was abandoned by her mother. I got married, and I thought that I was trading one abusive situation for a happily ever after, which turned into a different type of an abusive situation. I didn't understand what caused that abuse, so I became addicted to drama. Because when you are abused, you are fearing for certain things in your life, but the drama is the constant. It's always there. It's always being created. So from that drama, I then created money problems. I mean, when I left my ex, he was making $15,000 a month. I created that business that brought in $15,000 a month. We were doing financially amazing, but the bills weren't paid on time. Nothing was working out. Everything was in total chaos. And then I read this book called The Secret. A lot of people have read it. And it said to be positive. It said to talk about being happy and glorious and blah, blah, blah. Well, Rhonda Burns started a trend, an amazing trend, because she got people to realize that we were being so negative in our lives that we were causing it. What the book failed to teach me was that you can't just go, okay, I'm happily living my dream life and still ignore the negative. It didn't teach you how to do that. So somebody who was working on my ex-husband, because he had some back issues at the time, told him to tell me about the book, The Power of Positive Thinking, which was written by Norman Vincent Peale, who is Donald Trump's pastor. So the pastor to Donald Trump was writing this book. So I bought the book, and I read the book. And he said, talk about the positive things in your life. Well, I was still seeing all the negatives everywhere I went. So I was still trying to be positive. So I was positive, negative Nancy. I was positive that my life sucked, and it royally sucked. So I would go around being, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, I'm trying to look on the bright side, and oh, everything's working out for me. And it really wasn't. I got into Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins kept saying, change your story, ask better questions. I didn't understand what change your story meant, but I understood questions. So how does this change? Why does this change? When is this going to change? What do I need to do differently to be able to create this amazing life that I'm wanting to live? The wrong questions. All the wrong questions. Because all of those focused on the middle and what needed to be done. When I got into the law of attraction, everybody just kept saying, ignore, ignore, ignore. And it is really hard at first to ignore your reality. I mean, look at Donald Trump. They're trying to impeach him. One part of our political thing has already started the process and voted for impeachment. Now it goes to the second step. Is he focusing on that? No. He's focusing on the State of the Union address that Nancy Pelosi asked him to do. So the leader of impeaching him is asking him to give the State of Union address. Interesting. And it made me really stop to think about my journey and the answer to this question. The reason I don't talk about all of that is because it's behind me, and I want it to stay behind me. Neville does the I remember when technique. So yes, I could say I remember when I was struggling, and now I'm happily living my dream life. But what I'm teaching you is what I literally do in my everyday life. I ignore everything I don't like. You send me a text, I don't like it. Oh, they sent me a text, but it was love. Because they text me, they were thinking about me, so that means they must love me. I'm Donald Trump in the way I think, the way I act, and the way I relate to situations. My ex-husband says, I live in a bubble and I'm crazy. Well, you know what? I would rather live in my bubble and be crazy than go back to that drama. Because that drama's not fun. For me, changing the drama wasn't a must. I was so tired, I wasn't sleeping. I was exhausted. Life literally was an endless cycle of what's going to go wrong today. And I love my friends. And there's 3 amazing people in my life who, yeah, they listen to it, and then they would be like, so how do we change this? Stop talking about that. Don't do this. You need to do that. Nobody fully comprehended, though, why I stressed change your story. Donald Trump tells everybody exactly what he wants them to hear. He doesn't care if it's physically true this second in time, because he knows the more he says it, the more he does it, the more he focuses on it, the truer it's going to become. So it's like this cup of coffee. Normally, I have a beautiful Alabama cup. I got this for Christmas. Everybody knows I love snowflakes. I love the snow. So I got a cup to remind me of the beautiful snow. My world, these things happen because I'm always constantly talking about I'm happily living my dream life. Now, if you want to walk in my shoes 7 days a week, 86,400 seconds a day, 365 days a year, let's walk in my shoes. So, this week, my ex-husband was bored, apparently, and had his friends commenting derogative things on my YouTube channel because he thinks I'm crazy, and that what I'm teaching you is ridiculous. But what I'm teaching you is what changed my life. How did I ignore it? Well, I blocked his friends. I laughed about it, and I said, well, apparently he has nothing to do today because we had some ice, so I must be his source of amusement. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you so very much, because guess what? My biggest hater is watching my YouTube videos. And he's sending other people to watch my YouTube videos, which means I win because I'm getting views and he's bored. And he's helping to show that you can change your life, because my ex-husband is one of my biggest people. He's telling everybody, oh, you should see her YouTube videos. She's crazy. I don't care. He's putting it out there, and I'm not doing anything for it. How amazing is that I'm living my dream life, so my ex is promoting my YouTube? These are crazy things that happen in my life. It's insane to think your haters are promoting you. But when people hate you, you're doing something right. When you're speaking about the things you only want, so I'm speaking, I'm a successful YouTuber, I'm a YouTube celebrity. People love what I teach, and I am so grateful and blessed because what I'm teaching is changing your life. So let's talk about changing your life. The first step in my manifesting techniques is to change your story. Create the story you want. Make it simple. Condense it down to a paragraph. I am living my dream life because I'm happily married to the love of my life. I'm a successful YouTuber. I'm a successful life coach because I'm helping change people's lives. I'm a successful person financially. I have my life going in the direction that I want. So I'm condensing it into 3 simple things. Love, my career, the way I'm changing people's lives. And I am talking about it constantly. And I'm talking about it constantly in a good way. I am successful. I'm changing people's lives. I love the fact that I'm changing people's lives. People love my YouTube channel, and the comments are amazingly wonderful that are being posted underneath it. I'm not out there begging somebody to like my channel. I'm not asking you to subscribe. I'm not asking you to hit the like button. I am telling you I want to hear how I'm changing your life. I don't care if you do it under my channel, in my Facebook group, on my Facebook page, on my Instagram, in a private message, through Messenger, Skype, WhatsApp, because, well, no, we have them. I don't care how you're telling it. I don't care if it's a post somewhere else that you put on Facebook that says, my life is changing because I'm doing XYZ. The thing is, XYZ in changing your life, always the first step is change your story. Change your story. Make it simple so it's easy to talk about. I'm living my dream life because. And start naming off the things. Don't care if you're crazy because our president does it all the time. He sits there and tells you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Because his story is, I'm successful. I'm creating businesses. I'm creating jobs. I'm creating opportunities. I am making America great again. His statements are constantly simple and effective because he's speaking it everywhere he can go. It's the power of positive thinking that he learned from Norman Vincent Peale. So if you take that, change your story that Tony Robbins says, add Noah St. John's format of asking better questions, Neville Goddard's living from the end, you're creating the way that I do. Because I create my story from the end. I am blah, blah, blah. So you pick whatever you are. I'm a successful person. It's simple. I am successful. So why am I successful? Because I make more money than I spend. Because I help change people's lives. Because people are watching my YouTube videos. Because people are commenting on my posts that I create on social media. Because people are telling me. I have answers to why I'm successful. I then only talk about the success. Because if I'm only talking about the success, that's exactly what I'm creating. So when I talk about money, you always hear me say, I always make more than I spend. I truly would like to have $2.7 million in my bank account. So if I talked about having $2.7 million in my bank account, what would be my statement? I am a millionaire. Why am I a millionaire? Because I have more money in my bank account than I know what to do with. I have more money than I spend. Now I'm saving that money, so I'm creating, I have, so I am making more than I spend, and now I save a lot of money. And why am I saving a lot of money? Because of $2.7 million in my bank account. Those are simple things that you can do all day long. You're not having to think about changing anything. You're not having to think about what you're focusing on. You're not having to think about anything that you're doing. So you've created the story. You're asking better questions. And the story is literally coming from the end. So my questions are directed at that end, which means everything's working out for me. My state is default. My life is simple, easy, and effortless. I had a friend who did a very high-pressure job, and he used to tell me, your life is too complicated, you need to simplify it. So I ask all the time, why is my life simple, fun, and easy? Why does everything come to me easily and effortlessly? Why is everything always working out for me? Because when I'm doing that, I am truly creating a simple, fun, adventurous life. It doesn't matter if Mondays and Thursdays I'm sitting home alone watching football. It doesn't matter if I've got the 3-year-old hooked on football. She's hooked on swans, by the way. All that matters is I speak into existence just like Trump does in order to create my reality. And if somebody hates on me, I'm laughing, because how amazing is it? We are going to have haters. We're going to have doubts. That is a normal procession in life. But when we take those haters and those doubts and we use them to our advantage, how amazing can you create from that advantage? Well, he texts me and I didn't like what the text says. So what? He texts you. You got exactly what you wanted. He texts you. And apparently he must be thinking about me. He must be hating on me because he's sharing my YouTube, so he's my biggest supporter. Oh, think about it. It's crazy, but I'm not upset about it. I'm like, hello? You're talking about it. So you're creating more of it. So the more you talk about the things that you love, the things that you want, the things that you need and desire, you're going to get those, because that's exactly what Trump does. And we're all watching him do it. We're literally watching him stand here, shooting off a letter to Nancy Pelosi, sending out another letter to the United States military, thanking them for their service and telling them that they're getting another raise. And then we're watching him create something else. And when he did his business, people used to say, well, bankruptcy. He used bankruptcy to protect his business. He was, well, if I do this and I file bankruptcy, then the bankruptcy courts are going to protect my business. So I know I have to do a little restructuring. So I'm going to restructure and I'm going to come back out of it better than ever. And that's exactly how we need to create our lives. His story is, no matter what happens, I turn it around. I make it great. I make it wonderful. Do that and you will create an extremely successful life. Until next time, you guys have an amazing day.